Today, Haim commands tens of thousands of fans, sweeping across stadium crowds with a massive arena rock presence. But if you watch closely, their live shows defy the polished formulas of modern pop. Rather than locking into a rigid frontwoman routine, the three sisters constantly swap instruments mid-song, trading the bass, rhythm guitar, and drum kit back and forth. Between those technical transitions, they drop the pristine pop star veneer entirely. They lean into chaotic, coarse banter with the audience and contort their features into exaggerated, unfiltered expressions, famously known as the bass face. Then there's their visual motif. Instead of high-gloss dance routines, their performances and music videos rely on long, unbroken takes of the sisters casually walking in synchronized, almost postmodern choreography. In an industry built on focus groups and manicured aesthetics, these highly specific quirks usually point to a calculated label strategy, a manufactured effort to appear authentically indie. So how did three sisters raised in the San Fernando Valley end up organically building this exact stage presence? This isn't a manufactured gimmick. It's the result of three sisters drawing on their own suburban history to create a performance style that feels distinctly unpolished. We have to go back to the year 2000, deep in the suburban sprawl of the San Fernando Valley. Long before they were a Grammy-nominated trio, Este, Danielle, and Alana were the rhythm section for Alana Haim, a family cover band fronted by their parents, Modi and Donna, who raised the girls on a steady diet of 1970s classic rock and Americana. They didn't start in hip clubs. They played typical wedding band material at local charity fairs, hospitals, and, for their very first standalone gig, a Jewish deli in Hollywood, where the trio was paid in matzo ball soup. Performing covers of Van Morrison and Billy Joel at free community events gave them a practical education. They were forced to engage in different audiences, who were mostly there to eat, stripping away their stage fright at a very young age. The coarse, unpredictable way they command a stadium crowd today is a direct survival mechanism learned from years of trying to keep restless locals entertained at neighborhood benefit gigs. That same environment demanded versatility. All three sisters became highly proficient on multiple instruments, laying a technical foundation that went far beyond basic performance tricks. They had a few false starts with the traditional industry pipeline, including a brief stint in 2004 with a Columbia Records pop group called the Valley Girls. However, the sisters wanted to fuse their parents' 70s rock with the 90s R&B they were actually listening to, on their own terms. The turning point arrived when the Strokes' lead singer, Julian Casablancas, caught Danielle playing at a live show and recruited her to play guitar and percussion on his solo tour. While on the road, Casablancas gave Danielle a crucial piece of advice. She needed to focus on writing her own, stronger material and recording it, rather than settling into a career as a backing musician. She took the advice. Danielle turned down a lucrative offer to tour with CeeLo Green, choosing instead to head back to Los Angeles, reunite with Este and Alana, and turn Haim into a full-time operation. Danielle stepped into her role as the trio's lead vocalist and primary guitarist, anchoring the band's rich, earthy sound. When you see the sisters seamlessly trading the bass, drums, and rhythm guitar on stage today, you are watching the direct result of an intense, collaborative apprenticeship conducted entirely outside of the standard label system. This desire to subvert expectations extends directly to their visual identity, most notably the long, unbroken camera takes of the sisters walking in their music videos. That specific postmodern stride stems from their childhood, when their parents enrolled them in lessons and instilled a deep, lifelong love of dance. There is also a layer of irony to making pedestrian momentum their defining visual motif, considering they are a band entirely based in Los Angeles, a city famous for its absolute refusal to walk anywhere. This raw, unpolished movement caught the attention of elite cinematic collaborators. It made them a favorite subject for acclaimed director Paul Thomas Anderson, who shot the video for Right Now and repeatedly utilized their natural, grounded physical presence. The sisters actively reject the traditional girl band label. Their walking choreography serves as a visual manifestation of that rejection, trading manufactured pop perfection for an authentic, slightly awkward momentum. That momentum translated into a rapid industry ascent. After generating early buzz with a free download of their Forever EP, Haim delivered a breakout series of live performances at the South by Southwest Festival in 2012. The indie buzz quickly snowballed into global chart dominance. They released a string of critically acclaimed studio albums, scaling up with 2020's Grammy-nominated Women in Music Part 3 and their 2025 record, I Quit. They proved their sound was entirely adaptable, seamlessly integrating into completely different genres, like providing a featured vocal track on Kid Cudi's 2013 album Indicut. They spent the next decade scaling up to the largest stages on Earth, eventually opening for Taylor Swift's global stadium tours and collaborating with her directly on the track Nobody, No Crime. Yet, despite reaching the absolute peak of the music industry and working alongside its titans, their unyielding sisterly bond protected their distinct identity. They kept the quirks that made them. Haim achieved rock stardom at a global scale not by outgrowing those uncool roots, but by embracing them. They took the lessons from local delis and childhood dance classes and used them to build a live experience that feels entirely and uniquely theirs.